Jack? I have had enough of you fooling around out here. Stop trying to act like it's a good thing to be single at your age and find a woman you can actually stay married to. And once you find that woman, you make her bring me a grandbaby. If you could just try a little harder to find someone, you could become a very good husband and father, right? All you are right now is a complete embarrassment to me.
I think asking Jasmine to bring you that grandbaby would be a lot more effective, Mom. And those two already took fertility tests and the results came back saying that they are both good to go.
I understand that, but that has nothing to do with you. What I'm trying to tell you right now is that it's embarrassing to have my oldest son grow up single and with no kids.
But Mom, I already told you I don't plan on getting married anymore.
Huh? You're going on about that again? Then what's going to happen to me getting my grandbaby?
And that's why I said, you won't be getting a grandbaby from me, okay? I've been to the doctor about it already and they said it's better for me to just look past wanting kids based on the very low chance I have of getting someone pregnant. I even tried bringing up adoption as an option, but you budged in, saying that it was the wife's fault for not bringing in any kids. And you still wonder why she left me after all that crap you gave her, for something that's not anyone's fault but my own. Why is it so hard for you to accept the truth, Mom? You literally do anything but accept the truth, and that includes hurting those who aren't even at fault. If I had to give you a reason why I'm not married now and never will be again, I'd say it has to do with you always getting in the way.
You're going on about that again as well?
If you don't want to hear about it again, then stop making me bring it up. The fact that you always come to me about not having any kids and not having anyone to love is why I always go back and bring up the reasons why. It's driving me nuts.
Well, listen, Jack. You don't have to cover for that ex of yours being infertile anymore, because you've already divorced her and she means nothing to us anymore, right?
Jesus Christ, Mom! I'm not lying about it to protect her. I'm being serious when I say that I'm the one that's infertile. I even showed you the test results from the clinic, right?
Well, anyway, I'm not going to allow you to stay single. The only way you're going to continue staying a man in my family is by getting yourself another wife and making some kids with her. That's what all men need to do, and you're no exception.
Please stop with all this, Mom. At this point, you continue to go in circles about this. It's just wasting everyone's time.
Jack!
I have an early morning tomorrow, so good night.
I've had enough sitting here waiting. You must be planning to surprise me with something, right?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about that penthouse you have. You must have bought that recently, right?
Huh?
When I went into your apartment earlier, I saw the papers on that place lying on your computer.
You've gone and created yet another duplicate key to my place without my permission? Are you still not able to get it into your head that it's because of crap like you that you've caused my last relationship to flounder and forced me to divorce my wife? I can't believe you right now, Mom.
Well, you're my son, and I think I have the right to have access to your apartment. So when are you going to be able to introduce me to that new wife of yours?
Seriously?
The penthouse I saw in those papers lying in your apartment showed that it has 3 bedrooms and a very spacious kitchen, so there must be a good reason for you buying it, right? What kind of woman is the girl you're with right now? Is she the kind of woman that can actually get pregnant and birth some children?
It was after you bought that penthouse that you made my relationship with my ex-wife impossible and I had to divorce her.
Huh?
It's been over a year now since I bought that penthouse. After the divorce, I've been dealing with a lot of personal things, and I still have work and that to deal with as well, so I haven't had time to move into the place or anything yet.
Huh? What the? Can you stop trying to upset me right now? But if that's really the case with you, that penthouse doesn't belong to someone who's single and has no plan to have a family, right?
Huh?
Well, listen, your sister has gotten pregnant.
Oh, is that so? Tomorrow I'll send her a text telling her congrats.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that I want you to give that penthouse to your sister and her husband.
What?
Right now, your sister is living in a small apartment with her husband that only has 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom in it. Right now, the place is decent for those two, but the moment they have their first baby, they're going to need more space to work with. You can understand that, right?
Well, yeah, I understand that.
Then please give that place to your sister.
Stop being ridiculous, Mom. I'm planning to move into that place real soon, and starting this week I plan to get my things packed up and ready to go.
Having a place as big as that all to yourself is far too greedy.
Why is that greedy? Also, this place wasn't even gonna be mine in the first place after the divorce, but I was able to get it after much talk with my ex about how much I planned on using it. You have no right telling me to give it away after you almost made me lose it once already.
You are far too old now to be saying such selfish garbage.
How am I being selfish right now?
Are we finished here, Jack? I'm tired of having to fight you all the time on stuff like this. That place is too big for you and would be perfect for your sister, her husband, and her soon-to-be-born baby. And me. Having a place that open for the 4 of us to live in would be perfect.
Hold on a minute. It seems to me like the conditions have changed, and you just made it look as though you plan to live with them in the penthouse.
And what's wrong with me wanting that?
Have you ever even spoken with either of them yet about your plan?
There's no reason for me to talk with them about it now.
Well, if they need a house that's bigger than the apartment they're in, then the normal thing to do would be to move into a bigger place, or have a new place built for their needs, right? And I believe that both of us have heard already from her husband that he plans on having a place of his own built for the family, instead of moving into an already built home, right? Even if I did want to give them my penthouse, they probably don't need it.
I've had enough of this talk. Just give them the dang penthouse. If you continue to keep saying no to what your own mother is asking you, then I'll have to disown you.
Really?
But if you give them that place, then we can all go on with our lives again as normal. You don't want me cutting ties to you, right?
Actually, I don't care if you do or don't.
Right? You know just as well as I do that we don't want that.
Huh? Wait, that's not what I meant.
Yeah. You can stop trying to talk your way out of all this now. I am looking forward to moving into that place and having so much room to work with while raising my grandbaby.
That's not what I meant.
Well, since that's what's going to happen soon, I need to start preparing my things as well to move into that place.
Go and do what you'd like, Mom. But don't come back to me when things aren't what they seemed.
Jack! Why are you living in this penthouse right now? You were supposed to have given your sister this place so that her family and I could live here without you.
How do you know about me moving out of my old apartment?
I went to your previous apartment to come see it, and the man living next door to your place told me that you moved out. And when he said that to me, I went right to the building that the penthouse is located in, and I can see that you're in there right now. But when I ran after you as you opened the door, you slammed it in my face before I could come inside.
Well, luckily there's a really fast auto lock on the door that kicked in right before you turned the handle. And if you don't have the key to that lock, you can't get in.
Well, then hand that key over to me right now, Jack. I went to your apartment today looking for that key after all, so now that I've had to run all the way here after you moved in without letting me know, I'm getting that key.
So you went into that apartment again without my permission, huh? Thank God I moved out of there before you started to have one of these fits again.
You don't have any plans to get married again, right?
That's right. All I'm thinking about now is living as a bachelor for the rest of my life.
Then hurry up and get the hell out of there. That penthouse is far too good for some half-cooked man like you who doesn't plan to have a wife or kids.
Well, I'm planning on making this place into my office and this studio as well.
Huh? Making it into an office?
For a long time now, I've been doing this sort of work as a sort of side hustle, and now I'm thinking of focusing on it full time. And as of right now, I've been working with a friend of mine on merging our businesses and making a larger company.
And so what? That sort of stuff has nothing to do with that penthouse.
Well, that friend that I'm working with had plans to get married next year, and then move into a place close to his penthouse. But right now his partner is overseas for work, and he's all alone over here. So the plan is to have him stay in this penthouse with me for the next year until his woman returns and they get married.
What the heck? Why did you make all of those plans without me?
Because this is my penthouse, and since it's mine, I can do what I want with it.
But I told you that if you don't want to be disowned, you have to give that place over to your sister so that her family can move into there. You can look back in our texts and see exactly what I told you. I said for you to give the penthouse to her, and that you don't want me cutting ties with you, right? And you replied by saying you don't care if I do or don't.
Yeah, and that meant that I don't care what you do about your relationship with me. In other words, go ahead and disown me.
Huh?
You can go back into our messages and see what I told you. You're mistaking what I said, and that it wasn't what you thought it meant, right?
What? You're kidding, right?
I wanted to make things more clear for you, but you wouldn't stop talking, and told me to stop talking about it anytime I try to speak, so I gave up on it. And honestly, I'm totally okay with you cutting your ties to me, and that's why I stopped caring about you having a misunderstanding about what I said.
What the heck? Then what should I do now?
Go back to your own house and stay quiet from now on?
But I already moved ahead and sold my place.
Is that right?
What the hell is up with you acting like that's got nothing to do with you?
Well, you're cutting ties to me now, right?
No, I don't think so.
Are we done here? I have some things that I need to get back to, and I can see that you have nothing left to say to me that I care to hear. Bye.
Wait a second. What the heck am I going to do? Jack? Hey.
What do you want? What could you possibly want with me now?
Hey, do you know where your sister ran off to?
Huh? Why are you asking me where she's gone? All I know about her is that her husband and her moved back closer to his hometown because there would he be closer to his job.
Huh? They moved even further away? That town is almost 4 hours away from here.
Before those two even got married, they were talking about how before they even had a kid, they'd move back into his hometown where he'd be closer to his job and be in a better place to raise the kids. The only reason why he was working around here for a little while in the first place is because the company he works for is owned by his dad, and he was asked to start helping with the starting of a new office in town. But they agreed that once his wife became pregnant, he could go back to his old office closer to his hometown and have his kid there.
What?
And it's getting pretty close to the due date for that baby, so they decided to move back to his hometown before she had the baby and is all tired out.
Well, why did I never hear anything about this from them?
It's because you're a reckless woman, so we all decided to keep their move a secret from you so you couldn't do anything crazy to them.
Huh? I'm reckless?
You made a huge deal about having me give up on my penthouse and handing it over to my sister so that her and her husband could have their baby there and you could live there with them as well. They also knew about how I bought this place before my divorce and that you were the reason my wife ended up leaving me. And if all that wasn't enough, you were causing a crap ton of stress for her by always trying to control everything she planned to do with the baby, as though it was gonna be your baby somehow. Well, anyway, there's a whole bunch of reasons that began to pile up, and that's why they both chose to move out of town without telling you.
What the heck? Does she not want me around to help her in raising her baby when it's born? Did she forget who raised her to become the perfect woman she is now?
And as far as we're concerned, it was Dad that raised the both of us into the people we are now.
Huh?
Dad was the one making the money in the house for all of us to live on, and he was also the one that did the most cooking and cleaning in the house. You were a housewife, but you ended up slacking off quite a lot.
Wait a second.
Also, it's been 2 years now since you left the house to live on your own away from Dad because you didn't want him to listen to you asking all the time to do the chores, right? Well, he's told me that he plans to divorce you now since you're never going back to him.
But if he leaves me, how am I going to make any money?
No, I'm not, because you told me you'd disown me and cut ties with me.
But you are my son, so you should be able to do something about this, please.
I think we're pretty much done here, right? I'm a very busy man now, and I got things I gotta get back to. Can you make sure to never talk to me again?
Jack!
Now I'm gonna get back to work. Goodbye forever. After her and I had our final conversation, my mom came running back to my penthouse door and continued to hang around it for hours and hours. But after a while of hearing her constant knocking around my penthouse door and the building itself, others in the building began to become suspicious of her and called the police on her. They came just at the time I wasn't around, so she couldn't get me to come and help her, meaning the police put her in their car and drove her to the nearest station. After she was let out of the police station the following day, she proceeded to start heading back to the building my penthouse was in, only to be stopped by my dad, who told her that he heard about everything and would be sending her to my older brother's business outside the state. There she would work for him and make some money to support herself, while also being too far away to do anything about me and the rest of my family. Her brother operates a logging business, so the location she'll be working at is far in the mountains and forests, where it takes almost a day to get to by buggy or truck. So because of her being so remote, I can feel a sense of relief knowing she'll never make it back here again. And of course, this meant that Dad was able to divorce her as well. I hope that now she's lost pretty much everything in her immediate family, and she'll begin to make a new family out there in the middle of nowhere cutting wood all day with all those other loggers. And I'm sure that unlike us, those loggers won't even let her get away with a second of that reckless attitude she had with us.
Isabella, Mom told me. I heard you decided to get married. Yes. Congratulations! I can't believe that you, adult girl, are getting married before me. I'm so surprised. Thank you. That's it? I reached out to you, but you're kind of cold. Maybe it's because you've done things in your life that have left you cold. What? What are you talking about? Did I do something? You've been making fun of me for a long time. Have I? I don't remember doing anything like that. You just called me dull, didn't you? Oh no, that's just a joke. I didn't mean to offend you. I've told you many times that I don't like that kind of thing. You're still as detailed as ever. If you worry about every little thing, your life won't be fun, will it? I think you don't care enough. How much trouble I've been put through. Do you have any idea about that? Trouble? I have no idea. You ran away from somewhere to my house at the end of last year too, didn't you? You stole your coworker's boyfriend, and then she found out and came to your house because of that. What? Was that my fault? Wasn't it the guy who cheated on her? You're both to blame. It's crazy to mess with the partner of someone you're close to in the first place. I remember when I was in high school, your boyfriend fell in love with me too. Maybe you've been holding on to your roots for a long time. I don't expect you. I know it's pointless for me to get upset. Oh, you mean you won't let me see your fiancé? Maybe you think I'll take him away from you again. I just don't want to invite trouble. You know, you say a lot of unnecessary things. I'm not interested in your fiancé. I mean, he works at a factory, right? I really laughed when I heard that. How can you marry someone who works in a factory uniform? You really need to fix that kind of thing. You're saying the same thing to everyone around you, aren't you? What's wrong with that? Nobody wants to work in a factory. Wouldn't you prefer an elite businessman or something? Don't think you're right. Besides, I think any profession is respectable. I believe factory workers can get married because of someone like you. The right person for the right job? I don't know, but I guess they're attracted to each other on the same level. Enough. Talking to you makes me sick. You don't have to say it like that. If you feel uncomfortable with it, doesn't that mean I've got a point? I believe no one likes their young fiancé to be disrespected. What? You're not disrespecting him. Enough. Stop talking. As your sister, I'll tell you one last thing. If you keep acting like that, you're really going to lose friends around you. I think you should start to think about yourself a little more objectively. Well, whatever you say, it's not good enough for me. You and I are in different positions, aren't we? A pretty woman can do whatever she wants. People are kind to me just because I'm pretty and beautiful. Okay. You're going to have a right? I don't want to be surrounded by a bunch of poor people, so I'm not going to the wedding. Fine. I'm planning to have just my family and close friends. I see. Well, I hope you don't regret getting married. Even if you have money problems in the future, don't rely on our parents, okay? Hey sis, I've got the invitation for the wedding. Oh, did you get it? Actually, I'm getting married too. It's going to be a gorgeous ceremony, so please dress up as much as you can. Don't embarrass me. Why? Why are you doing this? About what? It's my wedding day. It's the same day as the wedding I was planning. Huh? Was it? But I sent the wedding invitations to everybody first. If you sent the invitations to them afterwards, wouldn't they all be turned off? What kind of sister goes out of her way to put her own ceremony on top of her elder sister's wedding? You chose the same way to ruin my wedding, didn't you? I can't believe you're thinking like that. I really can't believe it. Do you enjoy doing this? What? I don't think it's fun or anything. I just did what I wanted to do. What's your problem? The groom's name. This guy was at the same college as you, right? Oh, you remember. He used to be a dull guy, so I didn't take him seriously before. But now he works for a big company. So I just took him out for dinner and suddenly he asked me to marry him. Didn't you say he was creepy? He came to our parents' house without a notice. He seemed a little insidious. Now he has better looks than before. Above all, I'm fine with it because he has money. If he has money, he can make himself look better as much as he wants. I see. But after college, he married someone who looked like you. Didn't you make fun of him? Yeah, he left his ex-wife shortly after he and I started seeing each other. He said he'd rather have me than his ex-wife. But are you okay with it? Do you really like him? Of course I do. I love the fact that he has money. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm asking if you sincerely want to marry him. Hey, you know what? There's a difference between someone who will be my boyfriend and someone who will be my husband. Marriage can't be built on love alone. Marrying someone who loves me, that makes me happy the most. Don't you feel sorry for his ex-wife or something? Because, I mean, even if it was only temporary, you were dating a married man, right? Huh? Why would I care about that? It's his fault for dumping her, isn't it? That's how unattractive she was. Didn't you have an affair once before and demanded alimony? And did you forget that mom and dad scolded you for that? They said there's no next time, right? That guy paid all the alimony, so I'm fine. Too bad. In the end, getting a man who's reliable is the right thing to do. So you really don't think any of it, do you? Oh, I got a call from my cousin that she's coming to the wedding. Isabella, I'm sorry. My parents and relatives decided to come to my wedding instead. Your wedding will be like a wake. Oh, why don't you change the date? There are still a few days left, so you won't have to pay any fee for the change. It's okay. We've always planned to have a small number of people. Besides, I'm not going to change the date since we picked our anniversary. Oh, really? You didn't have to do it on the same day. You just had to pick the same day, didn't you? It's just a coincidence. We're sisters, so maybe we're telepathic. I don't care about that. I won't have anything to do with you from now on. I don't want to have a relationship with you as a family member or as your sister. You're going to cut me off just because my wedding is on the same day as yours? I think it's also quite a thing to intentionally put a wedding on the date. And it's not the only reason. I can't stand your personality, sis. I've put up with it because we're family, but I can't take it anymore. Okay, well, I don't need you in my life. Do what you want. I've been accused of having plastic surgery because of my ugly sister. I'm going to live as an only child from now on. You do that. It's easier for me to live that way. Bye. Good luck with your miserable poor wedding. You and your factory working husband are going to have a hard time for the rest of your lives. Isabella, how's the crappy wedding? Are you enjoying it? It hasn't started yet, but I think I'm going to enjoy it. You're just being tough like that, aren't you? What's the point of having a wedding when parents won't even be there? Why didn't you move the date? It's okay. I'm really happy. I'm really glad that everybody's celebrating with me. Who's everyone? The husband and his little family, and my parents and our friends. My parents? My parents are coming to my wedding. They didn't go there, did they? They haven't come yet, but I'm sure they'll be here soon. And the guests are going to keep coming. It's going to be a great day. Really? Why don't you ask the staff if the guests are coming? Huh? Why? Wait a minute. They said they need to talk to me now. Okay. Isabella, are you sure Mom and Dad are there? No one has come to my wedding yet. Yes. Everyone's having fun at my wedding. The ceremony hasn't started yet though. We're still in the middle of the pre-party. What? Why? Our parents and all the relatives, they replied to me that they would attend my wedding. Sis, did you really think they would celebrate with you like that? I'm getting married, remember? And with a rich guy at a fancy place. It would be weird if they didn't congratulate me. I sent the invitations first. Why should your wedding ceremony take priority over mine? It's the result of what you've been doing to them. Huh? When you meet people, you always talk down on them. You always look for faults in others and show off. Which part of such a person are they supposed to like? We're family, so likability is not relevant. You and your husband were having an affair at first, right? I didn't tell him to break up. He just left his wife on his own. Even if so, people around you and his ex-wife wouldn't see it that way. Your husband's ex-wife came to our parents' house a few days ago. She wants us to pay alimony. What? My husband said he already paid alimony. He didn't pay for it. Neither for you or for himself. What? What's going on? Your husband, by the way, he doesn't seem to have any money. No? His ex-wife told me that he lied about working for a famous company. The wedding expenses and the present for you. He had to borrow money to pay for everything. No way. Are you kidding me? Are you making this up on purpose because you can't stand that I'm happy? It's true. He lied to you because he wanted you to like him, didn't he? Why don't you ask him about that? That's not possible. He's already spent thousands on me, remember? Anyway, tell our parents to come to my wedding right now. If things continue as it is, none of the guests I've invited will show up. Please, tell them quickly. There's no time. Mom, Dad, and relatives, they won't attend your wedding. Oh, but they said they'll just send a wedding gift later because they feel sorry for you for canceling at the last minute. I don't understand. I want people more than money right now. You want me to have a wedding where only the bride's side of the table is empty? Sis, do you know how many times we've been charged alimony by the wife of a partner you had an affair with? This is the second time. As you can see, our parents are more than pissed off. If our parents won't celebrate with you, why would our relatives come? It's my wedding, you know. Canceling at the last minute is horrible. And my friends and coworkers aren't coming either. Did you do something? Are you trying to humiliate me because I arranged the wedding on the same date? Why would I do such a thing? I don't want anything to do with you. Oh, by the way, I heard from his ex-wife. I heard there's some kind of a victim group against you. What? You have been stealing boyfriends from your colleagues and your friends. You've been messing around with other people's boyfriends without any hesitation, haven't you? And you're always talking down on me. You have a lot of things that make people hate you. So what? Most of your coworkers and friends that you sent invitation to, they said they were going to ditch you. Women are scary at times like this. They take revenge at the worst possible moment. Are you sure none of them are coming? I don't know all the details, but I guess if they haven't shown up at your wedding, that's what it means. Hey, I can't have a ceremony like this. Your husband's guests are there, right? This is not the first time for him, and he left his wife, so my parents-in-laws aren't coming either. He's invited fewer people than I have. I see. Well, that's tough. I mean, wouldn't your wedding be the miserable one, sis? Hey, please, can you ask at least mom and dad to come to my wedding? If possible, would you please reach out to our relatives too? Why me? If you ask them, I'm sure they will listen to you, right? Please. There's no time left. We decided to get married, and this can't be happening. You brought this on yourself, didn't you? Even this marriage of yours. I decided to get married first. That's why you rushed to get married legally and arrange the ceremony, right? Are you really that condescending? I'm not doing that. I'm the oldest sister, so it was natural for me to get married first, wasn't it? But since you decided to get married on your own, why don't you stop competing with others? You're only making it harder for yourself. Why do I have to be told what to do by you, ugly dog? Don't tell me what to do. You've been living your life looking down on others like that. Isn't that what brought you here? That's why no one will celebrate for you. Isabella, I'm sorry that was out of line. I'll be careful from now on. It's too late for everything. I'm sorry. I'm begging you. Please let me have our parents come to my ceremony. After today's wedding, I really won't make you any trouble. I don't want to be bothered anymore. That's why I've cut you off. If you're really sorry, you can handle it yourself. Well, my wedding is about to start too. Goodbye, sis. Let's get married and be happy with each other. Good luck with your miserable wedding with your self-proclaimed rich husband. After that, my sister's wedding began, but only a few guests from her husband's side came. It seemed the ceremony started off in the worst possible situation, but there was no way my sister could stand the atmosphere. The wedding was eventually called off before the reception. Also, apart from her relatives, none of my sister's friends and acquaintances from her side came to her wedding. As I thought, someone who had been frustrated with my sister up until this point had laid the groundwork, and they were encouraging everyone to cancel in the last minute. Furthermore, as the ex-wife informed me, my sister's husband does not work for a famous company. He was an ordinary company employee and had borrowed thousands of dollars to marry my sister. When she found out, she immediately tried to divorce him. Her husband, who was pathologically in love with my sister, would never have agreed to it. They still don't seem to be getting a divorce yet. My parents are completely fed up with my sister's second affair. My sister has nowhere to go for help now. since she's cut off from the rest of the family. I don't know what will happen to my sister from now on. I think she lives a life not nearly as ideal as she has imagined, paying off her husband's debts, and there's also the issue of an alimony, which won't be resolved anytime soon. I want her to take a hard look at what she has done, and I want her to reflect on it. But honestly, I don't expect anything from my sister. So at the very least, as long as she doesn't bother us, I don't care what happens to her. Thanks to my sister's usual behavior, my parents celebrated our marriage. We were able to have our wedding ceremony with the blessing of everyone around us. My husband and I are enjoying our married life together. I have been frustrated and disgusted with my sister, but there was a part of us that spoiled her too, because we were family. But finally, I was able to sort out these feelings. So I'm going to stay away from my sister. From now on, I will take care of people who care about me, and I will always remember to be thankful and build a happy home with my husband.